All right, let's talk about this wild Colts-Eagles game. I'm going to talk about the Eagles offense and the struggles that happened. In fact, a good chunk of this video is going to be talking about the areas where they were struggling early on, because I did think that they struggled early on. Only 3 points in the first 3 quarters. That's not so good. But what turned around in that fourth quarter? And also, I think that, talking about what went wrong in the first 3 quarters is also exactly what they were able to flip and get going right in the fourth quarter to pull off this victory. So let's just get into it. Let's start off with this play. This is something that I think, listen, there's going to be some issues that we see that are going to be concerning, some that are not so concerning. This is probably one of the more concerning issues that happened in this game. How concerning, I don't know, but you can definitely talk yourself into it being very concerning if you want to. So the play call itself, it's a 3rd down and 11, so that's the situation. You have a fake screen pass here, or I guess really a fake quick pass to your wide receiver. You get the ball in Devonta Smith's hands, you have a couple of receivers go out and block. It'd be a good play call in this situation, but it's hard to get 11 yards, so they're not actually doing that. They're just kind of setting up as though that's what they're going to do. This is something we've seen Philadelphia do a decent amount in this season. It has worked relatively well, but this time, not so much. Watch as the Colts are really kind of all over it. You can't see exactly what happened, but you see that Jalen Hurts did not like what he saw and is instead going to run the ball instead. So this is the situation that you're in, kind of a tough spot for Philadelphia as your initial play call didn't work. We're seeing a bit of that. We're seeing, and this happens all the time. Actually, people have made the comparison to the Cardinals last year, and I can sort of see a little bit of, the Cardinals were running these types of plays that were just working so well, then teams sort of adjusted to it, and then the Cardinals never found an adjustment. But that happens to a lot of teams. When you're doing really well, typically there's certain things you're doing that are well. Teams try to figure out different ways to find a way to counteract what you do well, and then you have to find a counter for that counter. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, that's kind of the situation. It's okay, this play didn't work. What's another thing Hurts likes to do is, when the play doesn't work, use his legs to pick up some yards. However, this time, there was just nothing there. I don't know what he was going to do there. You get the sack there. So again, that's kind of the thing. Cover up the first play and then don't allow Hurts to run and pick up too many yards after the fact. A lot easier said than done, and you could say the same for basically every team, but this is a way that they've been able to slow down the Eagles' offense, a way that we've seen a couple teams now be able to, again, slow them down. You're not going to completely stop them, but slow them down. But something like this is probably the bigger issue, and to me this is less concerning because I think this is probably just better defense, and that's kind of the main thing I saw. If you follow this channel, I tend to very much have a do not panic, do not buy into the, recency bias or the small sample size issues, because football is, a game where there's only so many games in a season, so you do tend to overreact, I think, to 1 or 2 games. That's, of course, positive and negative ways, sometimes in the exact same game, but something like this is an example of what the Colts were able to do well. Because again, you got to tip your cap to the team that played defense, not just blame the offense. Where you see that one-on-one matchup right there. Hurts takes a snap, runs the play action. Sorry, it's blurry. Not sure what's going on there. But you see that further down the field, it's just not open. That's just not a play that Hurts can throw to. That was his first read, but it's not getting open. Just good defense. And again, if you can get good defense, well, that's what's going to help you. Hurts instead runs around, eventually finds A.J. Brown with a one-on-one matchup, but it is incomplete. Good defense by Stephon Gilmore there. So again, if you're covering well, it's going to be hard for teams to score on you. That's just football 101, as simple as it gets. If you can't get open, it's going to be tough. But again, I think we've seen the Philadelphia Eagles get open consistently enough that I'm not concerned too much that this is any long-term thing. There's no blueprint here. The blueprint is have Stephon Gilmore. Okay, yeah, I'm sure every team's going to start doing that now. One of the big issues that we saw was just these miscues by the Eagles. That's been the main thing I've noticed these past couple weeks, compared to their first 8 games and now going to these past 2 games. It's just been they've been beating themselves. All these turnovers, all these fumbles, or even something like this. It's a 2nd down and goal at the 2-yard line. So you're sitting here in a relatively good situation. Down 7, you're driving on this play because they're still getting some good stuff, but you're driving on this drive, as what you would expect by that sentence. All you have to do is punch it in here and, maybe just run the ball, get the touchdown. Seems pretty simple. However, this is just a high snap by Jason Kelce, and Hurts basically just, takes it and then gets sacked right there. Not too much you can do about something like that, right? That's just like an unfortunate error by a guy who doesn't make that kind of error very often. But like something like that, it just, it's in costly spots. These are stuff that will not continue to cost them throughout the course of the season. I'm sure it'll clean it up, but, it can hurt you in a football game. That's why it's hard to go 17-0. These things can hurt you. Going over here now, so what's going to happen here is that it's again, down 7, so you're still in a situation where you feel okay about your situation starting the second half, trying to get better. Hurts is going to take the snap. Hurts is going to look downfield, eventually like something, but it's just bad timing. Of right when he makes the throw, there was a defender right behind him ready to make the sack. Ends up being a strip sack fumble right there. So again, you got to give credit to the Colts, of course, for making that play happen, but it is tough timing. If the pressure came earlier or later, then you're in a situation where you at least don't fumble the football there. Going over here, this is another thing that the Eagles have to get better at for sure, is that it's going to be it's a 4th down and 10. So first off, surprised they're going for this here. Don't think you have to go for it, but okay, they're going for it, fine. Listen, I'm always in favor of playing aggressive, so sure, going for them 4th down and 10, I'm not going to criticize it whatsoever. Again, I think teams should go for it more often, especially when you are down 2 scores. I get it. But really, this is going to be a bad blitz pickup, and this is something I've started to notice a decent amount about the Eagles. In this game especially, there was just some bad blitz pickups that resulted in quick pressures, because the offensive line's pretty good for Philadelphia. It's really the blitz pickup that can be an issue. I don't think it's been a big issue. Like, I'm looking at the Pro Football Focus grades of pass blocking, and this is going to be Kenneth Gainwell, the halfback, who's actually been a pretty solid blitz pickup guy, at least according to his PFF grades. So I'm willing to bet that this is kind of just a fluke scenario, but watch what happens. Look, as you see, Hurts takes a snap, and Gainwell really just, does not do much of anything. They are creating a quick pressure. So this really probably should have been a sack. We're going to see something pretty great by Hurts. Watch Hurts somehow get out of that, and he gets himself to be in this situation. And, I think a lot of people had the same thought of, in this spot, it's tough. You are in a tough situation. I don't know what's going on down the field. I'm assuming there's nothing open. I would have liked to see him just throw one up. Send a prayer, right? You're not going to be able to run forward and pick up the 1st down here. Just throw one up, see what happens. An interception might still help you. Someone might, you might get a greedy defensive back who wants to bulk up their stats, get the interception, and, get some field position that way. I would have liked to see him take a chance. I get that, you don't want an interception on your stat sheet. I do get it, but, you got to play to win the game, not play. I think there's enough smart teams out there that are going to realize this is the smart play. We're not going to hold it against you one day or looking at your next paycheck. Instead, Hurts does just kind of, eventually it looks like he tried to throw it away at the last second to, give you 4 yards of field position. At that point, really, just a complete mistake. I guess, again, things happen fast out there. It's easy to pause the play and say this is not what he should have done, but still, when I pause the play, I see that this is not what he should have done. And then for this drive, the one that allowed them to get within 3 points here early on in the 4th quarter, there was a earlier Jalen Hurts big scramble. So, okay, you're starting to get Jalen Hurts' legs to be a factor again, which it hadn't been for the most part of this game. And also, you're just starting to see guys win more, and that's what you need to do. Having your receivers win more. Obviously, it seems obvious. Oh, hey, just have Jalen Hurts use his legs to get more, get more yards, and then have your wide receivers win more down the field. That's a great way to fix things. But listen, that's what happened. That's how they were able to score on this drive. You see on the field, it's a cover 3 zone, and you're going to have a situation where it's Quez Watkins, actually. That's the main route to pay attention to. Watch how right when the play begins. I would actually say this is pretty good defense by the Colts. Quez Watkins is not wide open here, but there is a window, and Jalen Hurts wants to take this chance. And look, just a perfect throw gets you to touchdown and gets you right back in the football game. So, we definitely still saw this. Even when things were going poorly in the first half, we still saw these flashes. In this play, it's kind of a similar thing, where again, you're going to see that, okay, Hurts, I thought he had an opportunity to maybe run a couple times during this. He eventually doesn't. We're at this spot. It's a 3rd down and 2. So he definitely could run it. In fact, you see, I think there is an opportunity for him to run the football. Maybe you should run with the football at this point, get the 1st down, because you have plenty of time left. But Hurts likes what he sees downfield. Look, Hurts is going to take a deep shot down here to hopefully get something, open down there, and it is. I mean, he got Miles Sanders, a linebacker covering him. This is wide open, and if Hurts hits Sanders in stride, this could be an easy touchdown. Now, easier said than done because of how far away the throw is here. Hurts is just throwing one up and hoping Sanders can adjust to the ball and try to make a play here. And while it's not going to be a completion, I mean, you see the linebacker for Indianapolis just tackled him, basically said, I don't want to give up a touchdown. I'll give up I'll take the pass interference call instead. I almost kind of feel like I would rather in that spot don't do that. Just, I would advise my players from the Colts to maybe don't take a giant pass interference penalty intentionally in the final few minutes of a game when you're up 6. That's my opinion on that. But I see why he did it, and he did it because it was set up by a good play by the Eagles. Of course, this 4th down play, absolutely huge. 4th down and 2. What do? Just put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands and hope for the best. This is a designed quarterback run. As you see, Hurts does a great job. Grabs it, it's going to run up, and he's going to be able to pick up the 1st down right there. Not too much the Colts defense could do on that one. That's just Jalen Hurts doing Jalen Hurts type things. That's part of his value, is his ability to do stuff like that. 3 plays later, they run this play, get into the end zone, end up holding on to get the victory and beating the Indianapolis Colts. Big win for them, I think. Losing this game, listen, you'd still be 8-2, but you're trying to get the 1 seed, so, as many wins as possible is good, since the Vikings also only have 1 loss right now, and you have the tiebreaker, so that helps. But also just mentally, you don't want to go down and lose back-to-back. You want to say, hey, we are not the Cardinals of last year. We are our own team, and we can still find ways to win, even if we're in a situation like this, where we don't play our best football. Good teams win the games they're supposed to win. The best teams sometimes win the games they're not supposed to win. And I'm not saying that I think the Eagles kind of did deserve this win, but also they were able to steal it at the same time. They kind of did both, weirdly. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.